Welcome to The Cutaway, a Humming Heart's brand new podcast, openly and rather liberally inspired from the popular show Song Exploder. On this podcast, we will be inviting Indian independent artists to break down their tracks and share the stories behind them. Between getting selected for Spotify's Radar program for emerging artists to a spot on the 2021 Forbes India 30 Under 30 list, singer-songwriter Mali's stock is steadily rising and her sound has been evolving with each new single. Sharply swerving from her acoustic roots on her album Caution to the Wind, she has emerged as a formidable force of pop. On today's episode, she will be taking us through the song that gave us a glimpse into her new sound. Here's Mali breaking down Absolute.
Absolute was born at around the time of demonetization, which was 2016. And it was a song that I think collectively spoke about all of the frustrations we had with the government at that stage. I mean, obviously, all of those same frustrations have been compounded over the years. But at that time, there was a feeling of collective just resigning to the idea that the government is all-powerful and that they have too much clout and they can do anything they want. They can manipulate data and people into thinking whatever they wanted to.
You walked a mile to tell the stories of your people, but you strayed another from the truth. And now you're breaking all the promises and trust they had in you.
And this wasn't something that was unique to India. It was happening in a bunch of different countries like Brazil and America, and you know, there was a time where everybody was fighting this fight in some way or the other. And you know, in many ways it could be applied not just to what was happening with the government, but really just it was a class related thing, it was a privilege related thing. And Absolute just kind of collectively bottled up all of those feelings and brought it out in a really passive-aggressive way, which I think is the only way I could have written it. The song itself started off as being something that we just wanted to have, like, you know, acoustic, just piano and vocals. And for the longest time when we were demoing the song and recording it, we didn't want to do anything with it because just with keys and vocals it sounded fine. You know, there was enough melodic information that was carrying the song. It didn't need production at that stage, or so we thought. And then I think at some point we decided to wander down the rabbit hole of just picking and choosing bits that we could add. And one thing led to another. I think it started off with, let's do harmonies, or let's get a string section on there. And then from the string section, we said, okay, fine, how can it just be strings and piano? We need to add something more. And so then drums and bass happened, and it just evolved from there into a full-on production in no time. And all of a sudden, we had a key change and then an a cappella of my friends singing the song.
What you want to do, your powers are absolute. You're gonna reign forever, and we can say what we want to say. Pray for a better day.
And it really just took shape as a full production right from the demoing stage, even though we completely did not intend for it to happen. The song itself is structured very differently from a standard pop song, which is usually intro, verse, chorus, bridge, outro maybe. But this one is just a straight A, B, C type structure. Somehow having another verse didn't make sense, and somehow doing the chorus just once at the end of the song didn't make sense. But also, adding a second chorus without any difference would not make sense either. So what we ended up doing was incorporating a key change. And the key change for me was very reminiscent of the Carpenters, who I grew up listening to. And it's a very specific kind of key change, which I think people did a lot in the 60s and 70s. And I was really excited to use it for this song. And it really worked when the backing vocals kicked in, because the key change along with the vocal swells, it just added this lift to the song. And there was something really powerful and surrendering about it. The song was released in August 2020, and funnily enough, it actually came out just around the time of the farmer protests. This was when we were all collectively a few months into lockdowns, and all of a sudden we were all clued in, watching the news, debating whether or not our governments handled the pandemic properly. And add to that, we had the farmer protests and the bill being passed, and all of a sudden people started noticing that this song was not just, a singer-songwriter talking about casual life stories. It was more of a politically charged commentary on what was going on.
Did all your fame and fortune drive integrity away? Were you just building castles in the sky? Would all your saints go marching for our brothers in the fray, or watch them die?
And then there's a specific verse in the song, a specific line that says, "They toiled for hours until they broke their backs and sickles, waiting for the fickle-minded rain." And that is a direct reference to farmers and just how badly they've been treated. So all of a sudden, I think the song just coincidentally came at a time where people were already talking about these things. And it just put people's thoughts in words and lyric, which I'm pretty happy it turned out that way, actually. And even now, people will write to me and say, "Hey, I'd been listening to Absolute for months and I had no idea what the lyrics were until I actually followed them online today. And holy shit." I wasn't expecting that. I think my parents were really concerned when I was releasing Absolute. They're always concerned when I post something political on social media. I think they're concerned I'm going to get thrown in jail at some point. So with Absolute, they were pretty nervous and they were like, "Are you sure you want to do this? And maybe you should tell the story differently and not talk about the political context, because it can be received very differently these days," and rightly so. I guess I got off lucky in a way that it was a song that people picked up on the lyrics of only if they were really listening for it. And fortunately, I've not faced much of a backlash for it, because everybody kind of concurs with what it means.
A huge shout out to Mali for taking us through the song. You can stream Absolute on the streaming platform of your choice and watch the music video on YouTube. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Is there any independent artist or independent song that you love and you would love to know the story behind it? Message us at A Humming Heart on Instagram or Twitter, or write to us at hello@ahummingheart.com. If you like our work, and we hope you do, you can also support us by making a monetary contribution. When you support A Humming Heart, you also contribute towards building a musician's career. 25% of everything that we get goes into the AHH Artist Fund, through which our editors pick an Indian independent artist to support. Thank you for listening in. We'll see you very soon, and until then, stay safe.